Yeah, that's the quote I was looking for, right? It's our talent tree design philosophy has changed considerably over the course of Dragonflight's development. Community feedback and the lessons learned through playtesting helped us identify good practices to follow when constructing a talent tree. Equipped with what we've learned, we've set out to update Balance's tree and bring it in line with our current design philosophy. So without looking at this super in depth, it is full on just... Yeah, that's a good design philosophy. Because every updated tree I've looked at, I've been able to go, I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. Like one of the things I built on Feral was a questing, specifically designed for the kind of damage profile you need when questing. Which is very much, every now and again, you want to kill something quick. Or you want to kill a couple things at a time. And it's that idea of, I now have a build that's like, I guess I don't rely on cooldowns very much. I just do a whole bunch of damage. Do I need really long-term damage? No. Do I need short-term damage? It'll kill stuff really quickly and then move on to the next one. Sweet. I'll have that. And that's the idea where how I've been able to design a talent tree that for me that feels like it actually works for that. I've been able to grab enough stuff from the class tree, enough stuff from the spec tree that feels pretty good. And I'm like, shit, nice. This actually works. And that's manifesting enough in Balance. So the idea of them just talking about like the interconnectedness of the talent nodes, like the oppositioning where it's all about, just actually being able to pick what you want to a degree feels great. And then like I was talking a little bit this earlier, but the idea that them going, hey, we heard that this is just Shadowlands Pumpkin. We fixed that. Sorry. And they did that by just adding these what do you call these talents? If you scroll down a little bit there to just grab the talents down there.
New additions?
Yeah, so there's Umbral Embrace, which is, it is literally just a random bit of extra damage. Sure, fine. But at least it feels a little bit interesting sometimes. There's Wild Mushroom, which is just a new old spell, but it's also changed. Oh, wait, no. Oh, no, they actually... Oh, yeah, sorry. It targets enemies now instead of being a ground placement. And it also gives, what do you call it? Astral Power, which is nice. Look at that Astral Power generation in AoE. For big AoE, it's not massive, but it's there. It now makes AoE not Starfire, Sunfire, and Starfall. And then there's like, the Denizen in the Dream, where that's Denizen in the Dream. Is it very good? Chance summon a Fairy Dragon. Is that really interesting gameplay? No, of course it's not. It's summoning a fucking Fairy Dragon. But what is it also? Summoning a Fairy Dragon. That shit's cool.
Yeah.
That's what Boomkins want to do. They want to be doing that stuff. Same with like the Fury of Loon. That's a 25% effectiveness. It's like, yeah, Fury of Loon every other clips. Sweet, go for it. That's just, that is effectively... Oh yeah, and also obviously the Starfall update, where it's like, hello, multiple uses of this ability may overlap. Also, it's not a target anymore. We've taken your feedback, we're going to make the spell that you actually like, and we're going to make it work. And it's like, are you sure? Like, what are you charging for this? Are you going to double the price of Dragonflight? Are we going to lose 2 patches for this? Have we lost a raid tier because you made one class good? And that's the thing where they're kind of doing that across other ranges where they're just talking about everything in detail, going, here's what we're doing. We're doing exactly what. We're doing core design features. We're learning and expanding on our philosophy, because that's the problem, right? The problem was they would have a philosophy and they would go, sorry, that's written down, and written down means in stone, so we're not fucking changing. Sorry, what's that? What's that you think about covenants? Go fuck yourself. That's more or less what they might as well said. But now it's like, hey, here's something. And the player response is, I would rather have this, if you don't mind. And they go, okay, we'll find something that works with what you want and within our design. And you're like, oh, yeah. You're doing your job. You're doing your job in a way that's actually respecting players and listening to feedback. That's all people want. That's all people really want, honestly. There's not even that much else to talk about. In terms of all these, it's all that idea. So unless you want to talk about priests specifically, because even like the feral stuff, the feral changes are all just like, yep, here's some changes that are like been renamed and they're kind of nicer, and here's the idea of, they specifically talk there about the left and right side of the trees for feral, where that's one of the things I was really annoyed about, where it's like left side was just single target, right side was AoE, so you effectively had no choice. And then they went, oh yeah, start with that. We've kind of blended it so you can more mix and match and kind of take some AoE, take some single target if you want, or you can go full either build because we've interconnected all the nodes a little bit more now. You're like, beautiful. Beautiful. Is it perfect? No. Is it better? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, you know what? If you wanted a quote for me on Dragonflight so far, it's not perfect, but it's better. And all the connotations that comes with that. All the connotations that comes with that.
Yeah, it's just interesting kind of reading chat while you've been.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, no, I need to hop in and see how Hunter feels. That's the thing.
I don't think Hunters have had the most changes overall, though.
If they ended up getting me liking MM again, that would be a feat. But
well, that would require a full redesign, right?
Probably would.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, yeah, between Feral and Balance, that is some damn good shit.
Yeah, and that's the thing where even if they're just gonna, even if they're making decisions that maybe not perfect or people maybe not super like that much, they at least explain why, and everyone goes, sure. And they don't just explain why and say that's the end of the story. They just go, here's why we think that, and also here's what we're doing to kind of make up for that and make sense of that. Where specifically on like removing the Shadow Mend, they're like, hey, yeah, we know that this is probably gonna, impact discipline, so, or like in terms of their ability to heal, because Shadow Mend's key for that, like emergency stuff. So we will be happy to bump Flash Heal for discipline if it proves that way. Or like, cool. That's the intelligent part, I think, right? That's the intelligent part of communicating with the community. Communicating of talking to people, basically, is going, well, how is, and this may sound a little bit cynical, but it is how it works, right? You go, well, how is what I'm going to say going to make them feel? How will they feel after I've sent this message? And then preempting that, and then having something in the tank ready for it, or countering it in your initial message, where you go, okay, well, how are people going to respond about, in example, Flash Heal? Okay, so they're going to be annoyed because this change affects discipline more. So we'll also throw in a message saying, hey, this guys, we know it's going to be a problem, so we'll solve it. And they're like, the pitchfork is right. Okay, pitchfork's away for today. And they're learning that. So someone's kind of, I guess, someone is learning there. Someone at the PR team is kind of cares what people think. And I think that's maybe like the first step to making the game that people care about, is showing they care one way or the other. It could all just go horribly wrong. Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows? But at least it seems the set of processes, like the mechanics of it getting better over time, they're in play.
Yeah.
Right? Like the feedback loop that takes us in the right direction is in play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's just becoming a general feeling, I think.
Vibes are getting better.
Yeah.
There you go.
The vibes are getting better.
That's the whole stream. Goodbye.
Done. Bye.
Vibes are getting slightly better.
I just wonder, is there anything else?
Not that I'm super aware of, to be honest. There's a lot of real depth here that I wouldn't feel comfortable talking about just because I haven't actually explored a lot of these.
To be honest.
And this is the part that's interesting about the talent trees. Whereas before, with the talents being so, like, I guess the number of combinations is less. It's a lot easier to look at them and go, oh, I see how this works with the core. So I'd be able to, vaguely talk about almost any spec or class. Before, maybe legendaries in Shadowlands. I could almost nearly do that off the top of my head now. As soon as I open a class, I'm like, is this the same? There's so much more depth to what you can do with it. Not to how it turns up and how it plays at the end of the day, but to how you construct what you can actually do. And that's even the thing where, unfortunately, it will just be, you'll go to Blood Mallet and that'll have your talent tree. You'll go to Wohead and it'll be like, here's the talent tree we find works best. And that's the kind of thing people will do that. But there is room for you to absolutely play within them and do other things. It is down to balance to make them actually feel sort of okay. And that's going to be nigh impossible because I guess it's a case where there's just going to be some abilities will be strong and others. Some different, what's it called? Different builds will just be better elsewhere. And that's something you'll always have to contend with. But if you're willing to kind of go, well, let's see what I can do. Let's see what I can do because I'm doing world content. Can I make something that feels better to me? You should be able to do that. Which is part of the... I want to set up a charitable organization called the Anti-Metagaming Charity. And I can rescue people who have been damaged by metagaming everything. Very...
That's always going to happen, but at least here you feel like you can cook something up. And at least for new players who come into the game just, raw, right, with no sort of prior knowledge, they will have a significantly more educated and superior experience.
And I also will say, I was skeptical about how initially you would be going, here, talent trees. What do you mean you're giving me an extra 5 talent points and the level up experience? Are you trying to make me feel good about getting my Shadowland shit back? That's not how it's felt to me. Every talent point I get, because then this is the problem with them being weighted towards the bottom of the tree. Every talent point I actually kind of get when I'm leveling in the bit, I'm like, nice. Oh, nice. I get a new thing. Like, what was it? It was, it was the last talent point I got me Circle of Life and Death. And I'm running Circle of Life and Death because I like to, come out of stealth, rake, blah, blah, blah. Because you have Predator, I tend to Tiger's Fury before because I also have loads of energy because I have Soul of Forest. But I like, raking straight into a Rip because I know that based on how I've been killing things, Rip will just about expire by the time I finish killing it. I usually, get like a, open Rick from stealth, Rip, couple shreds, hit 5 combo points, Ferocious Bite, they're dead. And Rip's just expiring. I'm like, hey, look at that. That was enabled by Circle of Life and Death. And I'm like, I feel like I'm doing well. I haven't gotten detail installed, so, I might be better just doing something entirely different. But I'm like, yeah, this feels good. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
I'd be enjoying it more if we had EU testing servers, thank you.
Sure does make those empowered abilities feel funky.
Yep.
Yep, definitely an issue when playing on NA, but is what it is. So, class stuff. Done.